The SOT's 61st annual meeting and Tox Expo will host a variety of activities and services to create an enjoyable meeting experience for everyone. More than 2,000 presentations will be delivered through scientific sessions, continuing education courses, poster sessions, and exhibitor-hosted sessions. Most scientific sessions will be live streamed, allowing for questions and answers from those on site and remote attendees, as well as recorded for on-demand access by all registrants. Stay tuned as we kick off episode 1, highlighting organizations and experts from around the world that are leading the field of toxicology. SOT TV starts right now. Welcome everyone. My name is Lamore Abrams and I'm your host for the next few days here at SOT TV and Tox Expo. We are going to start with Dr. David Jett, one of the 2020 award lecturers. And we are here with Dr. David Jett. He's the program director at the NIH. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
What did you win?
Yeah, so this was an award in 2020. And it was on the Translational Impact Award for SOT. And the award was for a program that I helped lead. One of the, I guess, success stories is we worked on a drug with the DoD called midazolam, and it was approved back in 2018 by the FDA for treating people who have seizures, whether they're caused by epilepsy or whether they're caused by exposure on a nerve agent. And so that's sort of a dual use, and it's really changed the standard of care for treating people who have seizures, especially acute seizures where they haven't gotten to the hospital yet. And it's we're working on an auto-injector type of delivery system. So with these mass casualty events where you don't have one person that has a seizure, you may have 100 people that have a seizure that need treatment immediately. So we're pretty proud of that.
What do you hope members take away from the lecture?
Oh, well, yeah, it's really important, I think, for people to understand that there are chemical threats out there. We have thousands, if not, hundreds of thousands of chemicals out there that are highly toxic and that can be used for chemical warfare or just having exposures, occupational exposures. You can have so the fact that we have all of these chemicals out there, there's only very few true antidotes for these chemicals, and so the real thrust here is to try to increase the number of antidotes that we have so that we're prepared for these exposures. We're trying to get more and more people engaged in this research, especially people who have the requisite expertise for understanding how these chemical threats work. We have people who study epilepsy. We have people who study ocular, study the eye and how potential therapeutic targets that could be used for addressing and so forth and so on, pulmonary issues with the lung. And I think that since we started, have a lot of those folks engaged.
Do you have any more new programs you're developing at the NIH?
Yeah, so I'm actually leading a second new program at NINDS, or National Institute of Neurological and Strokes, working with a lot of the other institutes and centers like National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, on a new launch of a new office at NINDS that has at least one focus on what we're calling the exposome, the neural exposome. And basically, when you think about it, human genetics and the advances we've made in human genetics is just truly remarkable. But the fact of the matter is that the majority of health risk factors can't be explained by genetics alone. And so we have launched an office there where we're looking primarily at non-inheritable factors, things like exposures to toxins and chemicals and toxins, but also other things like social activity and stress, diet, the gut microbiome, to look at a more holistic approach on how we manage disease. So that's the sort of new road that I'm on right now.
Dr. David Jett, thank you so much for your time. Engagement with the society is so important, especially if you're new in the field of toxicology. We took some time to talk with some of the members about all the different ways in which you can engage and why it's important at all career levels.
It is important for members to engage with SOT because it is our society. I consider it my home as a toxicologist. And by engaging, you help SOT to fulfill its mission.
You know, the society doesn't exist without its members, so we, as members of the Society of Toxicology, and especially at the council level, want to find various ways to constantly engage our audience, from the students all the way up to senior level researchers and investigators and other toxicologists.
It is important to note that SOT is largely led by volunteers.
You can easily go to the SOT website, and at the website it has a link for volunteering. And at that site you'll see all those special interest groups, different organizations within the society that focus on different research areas. There's continuing education classes. There's opportunities for folks that want to improve on their communication skills.
Members of the different components of the society are great resources as well. Members of leaders in the specialty sections, leaders in the regional chapters that we have, the committee members as well. So those are great resources, and I'm sure any of the leaders is quite willing to share and let others know of the opportunities that are available to them.
So there's different levels of interaction and involvement that you can have with SOT. It just depends on your interests, depends on your affiliations, depends on your research interests, depends on your special interest groups in terms of focusing on different research topics. So there's many ways you can get involved with SOT.
For each day of the meeting, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the organizations leading in the field of toxicology. Let's start right here in California with the molecular toxicology program at UCLA. The program is in its 19th year at UCLA, and the interdepartmental PhD program in molecular toxicology is really something special. We hear why from both faculty and students and the impact they're having in public health.
You cannot do science in isolation.
Collaboration is actually the reason that I chose UCLA.
People really work together to advance science, and it's just a fantastic research environment.
In 2020, Unilever Safety and Environmental Assurance Center presented their approach to Next Generation Risk Assessment, or NGRA, to the audience at this SOT meeting. Now, 2 years on, and they're building confidence in NGRA through a detailed framework of NAMs, or New Approach Methodologies. Early results to benchmark this comprehensive approach are extremely promising. Let's take a closer look.
In 2020, we presented our new concept of Next Generation Risk Assessment, or NGRA. NGRA is defined as an exposure-led, hypothesis-driven approach that integrates in chemical, in silico, and in vitro approaches to arrive at a safety decision without the use of new animal data. Based on our experience, we identify NAMs as important to characterize the biological activity of a new chemical.
HTTR stands for high throughput transcriptomics, and we use it to measure the effect of the ingredient on the cell across the whole transcriptome.
The cell stress panel consists of around 40 different biomarkers, and those biomarkers represent key pathways that are involved in cell stress.
IPP is basically a collection of binding and functional assays we use to rule out any specific interactions that the ingredient can have with the very relevant receptors, transporters, ion channels, or enzymes.
PBK modeling is computational modeling that we can do using certain software. We can get understanding on what are the internal exposure ranges, for example, the plasma concentration, the tissue concentration like Cmax or AUC values.
From these NAMs, we can derive points of departures that can be compared to the internal exposure and derive margin of safety or a bioactivity exposure ratio. These bioactivity exposure ratios can be used to support a safety decision.
Some preliminary data we've actually generated along these lines is looking very promising. This will be followed by a full evaluation that we're going to be conducting in collaboration with the US EPA.
The future of non-animal testing required for chemical safety is here.
Make sure not to miss any of our exclusive SOT TV content. You can watch it on the TVs throughout the convention center, in your hotel room, and on YouTube. Make sure to get in touch on the web and share your thoughts with us on all the very latest from this year's SOT annual meeting and Tox Expo. The Toxicology Mentoring and Skills Development Training Program is a 5-year program funded by the National Institutes of Health to provide career development opportunities for STEM undergraduates from diverse, underserved backgrounds. Let's take a closer look at the benefits of the program and how it has helped shape the careers for toxicologists.
ToxMSDT stands for Toxicology, Mentoring and Skills Development Training Program. It is a program which provides one-on-one mentorships to underrepresented undergraduate students. The mentors are from industry, academia and government organizations. And it also provides skills development by offering online tutorials and case studies on topics of toxicology. Toxicology is not often a major in the field of undergraduate studies, and particularly it's hard to access for underrepresented undergraduate students. So by providing mentorship by the professionals from industry, academia and the government, we can support undergraduate students to pursue a career and particularly a pathway into graduate school in the field of toxicology. The undergraduate students have their own network of peer mentors. They are 25 students in total. They also have their own mentor assigned. They meet on a monthly basis. They have the chance to attend the Society of Toxicology conference, present posters, and attend the undergraduate education program. They visit their mentor at their work site and get some job insight and career development activities. And then their final event is presenting the ToxMSDT research project at the capstone event at Tuskegee University.
I'm currently an undergraduate student at Ashland University in Ohio. I'm in the ToxMSDT program this year. The overall experience is extremely good because I never thought I'd be able to come to SOT or do any of this without the program, so it's extremely exciting, and meeting all of these new people and seeing so much experienced people and potential future jobs and stuff like that is very interesting and gives me a lot of hope for the future.
Each day of the meeting, we're going to be asking you, the SOT members, a question of the day. Today we kick off with, what are you most looking forward to at this year's meeting?
I am most looking forward to seeing everybody in person.
It's good to be back again in the mix of it and just being able to network with everyone again.
Interacting with colleagues face to face.
It's been about 2 years since our last in-person.
Honestly, meeting people in person and the networking, that's my main goal this year. And looking forward to science as well.
I'm really looking forward to a lot of new technologies like single cell analyses and learn more to take back home with me.
My company does a bit on risk assessment, so I'm looking to dive into seeing where the science is going there and if there's any new things to learn.
We have a lot of poster sessions that I'm really looking forward to. There's a lot of good stuff. Yeah. Great to be back at SOT.
Well, that is it for us today, but we hope you enjoyed today's show, and make sure to tune in each day of the meeting for all our exclusive highlights at the SOT annual meeting and Tox Expo. We will see you tomorrow.